Page 52, this is the first lesson in Unit 4, is primary chords. Actually, I'm going to cover, I think, pages 52 through 56 here, just kind of cover them all. A little bit of music theory. Oh, goody, gotta love music theory. I need to make sure you understand all this other stuff. We use this terminology, and if you don't understand something, you're lost. See, as you learn music, you'll learn bits and pieces here and there, and then as you continue to learn, you learn more bits and pieces, and eventually you're able to put them together. Yeah. Well, here's some bits and pieces. You already know what a key is, a key signature, as in C major, whatever. Okay, it's a set number of sharps and flats associated with a particular harmony. Well, within every key, there are chords. Let's take C major, because it's the white keys. It's the easiest one to see. And from the 7 notes in that scale, I'm talking regular major scale, each note is numbered 1 through 7, and each note or each key or each step or each degree or whatever, so it also has a name, a number and a name. Well, some chords are used a lot more than other chords. Now we're talking triads here, mostly. There are 3 chords in every key that are used probably the most. They're called the primary chords. And they are the same numbers, the same names in every key. Once you understand the pattern, how it works, you can figure them out in any key. And that is the 1 chord, or the tonic chord. The chord built on step 1 of the key of the scale. The 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or the subdominant chord, and then the 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the dominant chord. And most of the time in the dominant chord, we will add the 7th. Remember to stay within the key, so we're dealing with white keys here. So we have the 1, the 4, and the 5, 7 chords. Those are the primary chords in any key. About as complicated as that gets. Now, of course, you can invert these things, like on page 53, they talk about the dominant 7th chord. You can invert it. Well, you just turn it over. It's no big deal. That's inverting them. Big deal. Okay. And remember, the numbers are according to going up. So if I take that chord and I go down 1, that's still 3rd inversion. That's not 1st inversion going down. The numbers are according to going up. Now, generally speaking in music, especially if you're improvising, you're not going to play root position all the time. And in the 7th chord, you're probably not going to use all 4 notes. You need the top and bottom, and you'll play one of the middle. Either one. Normally, we would play the B. We would leave out the D. But we don't want to move around. So we're going to use the inversions of some of the chords so we don't have to. Now, the 1 chord is kind of important. We'd like to have that in root position, although you don't have to. So root position here. And for the 4 chord here, we're going to put the C on the bottom. I'm kind of using the C as my anchor. I'm staying close to that. So here, I'm just bringing the thumb up. So it's 1, 4, 1. Okay. And then for the 5, 7, I'm going to take the G and put it on top. And we'll leave out the D. I only need 3 notes. So it's here. So I'm staying close to here. And here, another way of looking at it is the bottom note, I should say, goes down a half step. And you use the top 2 notes in the position. Another way of looking at it. Because you can do that motion in any key. If you know what the 1 chord is, you can get if I use like this chord, and I want the 5, 7, well, I'll take the bottom note down a half step, and I'll use the top 2 notes in the key. See, you can use that to figure out the 5, 7 of where you're at if you know where the 1 chord is. But this way, you can play all these primary chords without moving around. You should do it in both hands. Anywhere, doesn't matter. I go a little fast because it's fun, but you know how it is. Okay. At the bottom of page 53, they talk about we'll play them with just the roots of the chord. Remember, the root of a chord is the bottom note. It's the note that defines the chord. So if you do that, the 1, 4, 5, 1, you just playing those degrees in the scale. On page 54, they give you a few little exercises on playing these. So in the right hand, we're going to play the chords, but we're not going to be in root position. We're going to come up here. I get them all up here too. It's just a different inversion, but I'm not moving the hand around here. And then in the left hand, they want you to play the root of the chord. So it's a 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5/7 chord, 1. Just another way of doing it. In any key, F major. However you do it can do it in any key, whatever. And at the bottom of page 54, they want you to play this chord progression in these other keys, like D major. Well, you gotta know how many sharps and flats are in the key. D major is 2, so you're doing that, and you're up here. And then the 4 chord. Once you do it in G major, D major, and all these other major things, okay. And on page 55, we're doing the same thing, but now we're going to use the minor keys. So what's going on here? Actually, it's not too bad. Major and minor, they're very similar. The 5/7 is the same if you're using harmonic minor, because it's like C major. Well, C minor, take the middle note down. If I want the 5/7 chord, it's going to be the same thing. That's it. And with the 4 chord, the top note, instead of going up a whole step, it goes up a half step. That's the pattern for the minors. Now keep in mind we are using harmonic minor, because in harmonic minor, let's go to A minor. If I did the natural minor and I do a 5/7 chord with a natural minor, it's that. Because they're all white keys. The G sharp is harmonic minor. That's the one used the most. That's the one that would be the same position as the major key. Then on page 56, we get to some scales and arpeggios. Now we've been through this sort of thing before, but in my opinion, I prefer to use the method in the scale videos and arpeggio videos that I have on my channel. The links are in the description, all that junk. I don't like using written music for those. I want to focus on the keyboard, the fingers, and what it feels like, the physical feeling of playing, and where these notes are, and where the black keys are in relation, and which black keys are involved. You just kind of learn it with a scale. So that first one with 3 sharps, you just know that's A major, because A major, when you play it, you know you're using, that's 3 sharps. You just learn the sharps and the flats sort of automatically when you know the scales. And of course the arpeggios, then you just, okay. But that is my suggestion on these scales and arpeggios. However, you're welcome to knock yourself out with all these notes here on this page. Let me know if you have any questions, but better still ask your teacher if you have one. And I hope you have a teacher.